Hi guys, how's it going? It's JP from Bax Music, and today I'm looking at a really interesting Line 6 amplifier. It's the first time I've come across one of these amplifiers. I heard about their release, but it's the first time I've had a really full-on hands-on experience. It's a small 30 watt amplifier, which is very small indeed. There is a 75 watt version and a 150 watt version for those of you who want to play a bit louder. But for someone who is a portable, looking to get some kind of portable amplifier, something suitable for bedroom use, for practice use, maybe even just a nice music box for the flat to listen to some music. It's a really awesome device. It's a digital amplifier, and you can see that there are some controls here. And I've also got my smartphone, and I'm running the Line 6 AMPLIFi app, which connects via Bluetooth. There is also an aux input and USB if you are not connecting your phone. So there's lots of different functionality and connectivity you can get. You can even connect this via USB to a computer to record directly into your DAW, which is very interesting. But about the app, what I've got here is I've got a song from the band Animals as Leaders, a really inspiring band, a progressive metal band, but they also do some more intricate and beautiful songs like this one I'm about to show you. Now, cleverly, as I was doing that little speech intro there, what the app did and what the amp did is it listened to the song and it came up with some appropriate tones that would relate to the song. So it's not like Kemper or positive grid, like bias technology, where you have exact tone matching, but it's come up with similar tones, which, to be honest, I think is probably a bit more useful if you were to consider all musicians. If there's any musician who wants to practice, to play along, to jam, also to be inspired is the biggest thing. That's why we like nice tone, is to be inspired. Something that actually makes you pick up the guitar. And it's come up with lots of different amp models, as you can see. They're all based upon the Vibro Clean amp model. And you can see if you scroll down a bit further, there are other people on this virtual tone cloud that have come up with their own tones and uploaded them. You can share them on Twitter, on Facebook as a little ID, and people can download them. So it's a very useful software, and it's very modern. It's really modern, actually. It's available for both Android and for iOS as well. So I'm using a new iPhone here, a new iPhone SE. I apologise for the case, but you can see that it's come up with lots of different tones here, and the app is really extensive, and I'm about to take you through that. Let's just have a look at the amplifier first. So if we have a look at the control face here, it's actually very simple. I remember one of the first amplifiers I had, or even the first, was like a Line 6 Spider, and the controls, as you can see on this, is nowhere near as complicated as on any other head or combo that they've produced. You can see that there's just a single drive control, and every time you move these dials, it's represented digitally with these lights around the main volume control here. You've got your bass, mid and treble 3-band EQ. You've also got a reverb as well. And what happens is there's a little block system. You can see these white lights and maybe able to see that there is a red marker to show where the dial previously was, which is quite helpful. Your power control is here, and here is your headphone out. You can use an adapter to use smaller headphones, or you can use a 1/4 inch out like this, which is quite handy. We've got some more outputs on the side as well, so we've got a USB that you can't quite see, and also that's where the power supply goes to. You've got your Line 6 tap tempo, so if you tap that twice, you can set the tempo there, flashing nice and fast. And if you want a slower tempo, you just tap that again. You can see here that very traditionally with Line 6, we always have banks of different tones, and then we have presets, A, B, C, and D, with pretty much every Line 6 amplifier that I can think of in the last 15 years, maybe even longer. So just by pressing that, you can cycle between different tones as well, and different variations of the tone that you're using, which is very useful. So that's the control face. It's very simple. You can see that the app is obviously going to have a lot more of the functionality. So I'm going to whack my brightness up a little bit so you can see what's going on. And let's see what we can do with the app. So every time you unlock your phone, or if your phone goes into standby, it's connecting with the app. And I'm also connected to the internet right now, so I can look up other tones as well. On the main face of the app, you've got the amp itself, and you can actually see what tone you're using. Very similar to like the Firehawk or the Helix, where you can use your mobile device. There's different blocks which represent patches. So you can see I'm currently on the amp, which is highlighted in white, and these are the controls. So I can turn up the drive, and it's represented here on the amplifier, so I can mess with that a little bit, which is cool. All the controls for the amps are the same. So you'll have mid, treble, bass, etc. 3-band EQ will be on all of them. You can turn on and off individual blocks just by clicking on them. So if I wanted to turn on this U-Vibe mod, I just press the power, and there it is. It's enabled. You can also drag and drop blocks in different areas as well. So if I want my reverb to be before my amp, I could have that as well. Or if I want to put it after at the end of my chain, all I have to do is that and move things around. So it's a very simple interface to use. When I click on details, it will give me a rating. So I can rate this as well if I want to save this. And also it gives me the name at the top. And also there's lots of other information that you can fill out as well, and that really helps others if you're going to upload and share your tone. So it is very useful. If I click on the main tones page, you can see, because I've just downloaded the app, I don't actually have any tones saved, but I'm able to save tones and favorite them. There's also the tone cloud itself, so I can put in artists, for instance. I can search for more animals leaders tones, and also these are the ones that are built into the amplifier itself. And just like any of the other Line 6 models that you've got, or any of the other Line 6 amps rather, a lot of the models have continued. Many of them are in the style of very classic songs. And then as you get further through the banks, you actually have individual amplifiers itself. We see the return of some other amplifier models, like the Line 6 Insane, a very classic shred kind of model. Lots of things going on. The A30 again, which you've had all the way dating back to like early pod. So lots of different things going on here. So it's sorted in terms of genre in that kind of category, which is cool. In terms of amplifier, there's just so many different things going on here. But the fact that you can edit each individual one is very useful. So if I was to click on Symphony of Destruction, it will load up that tone eventually, which is pretty cool. So here we are, I've now selected this tone, and that's what I'm doing, and I can edit that there. If we go into levels, this is how we can change the overall level between if you're playing a backing track or if you're streaming something, and the guitar volume as well. We've got an onboard tuner, which is really cool. You can use the microphone and tune up. Very simple, and it's very accurate, just like any of the other Line 6 digital devices too. Music is the section I was on before, so we're able to go through and look through my my iTunes library and have a look. I actually use Spotify, so that's something to note. I don't actually have many songs on the hard drive itself, so if you're looking on iOS to look specifically at your songs, you need to have that or move your songs onto the phone itself, which shouldn't be too hard to do. If I then go into settings, these are basic things and other hardware things that you might be able to tweak. You can turn off the flashing tap tempo LED. It might irritate you, especially in a dark room. As you can see, it stopped flashing. As you can see, it's a really diverse app. It's very expansive. We can do a whole lot of different things to it, and I think it really lends itself to a player who is kind of interested in exploring with different tones. I think one of the most important things in my guitar playing time was the fact that I got a Line 6 amplifier as my first amplifier. So I was able to experiment with different tones, and you can see that was a decade ago now almost, and I can experiment with completely different sounds now. It's really easy to share tones, to be inspired, so at any point in the day I can just feel inspired to pick up the guitar and play this. So it's really well done by Line 6 that they've created an app which is this diverse. It's great you can do. But let's have a look at the tones now. So I'm going to pick a couple, I'm going to play through on this Telecaster, and we'll hear what this app is really capable of doing. Came across a pretty cool sound that I like, so why don't I go to the actual edit screen and let's just have a look at what's going on. So I can see all the effects that are going on here. I can see there's a really healthy amount of reverb as well. So let's say that I wanted to mess around with one of these models. All the different things that I'll be able to do. There's so many different things going on. I can change the speed of the effects as well. There's an effect depth, so if I was to bring that up and make things pretty much inaudible. You can hear there's a very weird sound going on there. So there's a heap of different things that we're actually able to do with this. It's just so expansive. But I think one of the nicest things is most definitely a combination of being able to put in a song and coming up with some similar tones, which I think is very useful. And also being able to come up with tones and share with other people. So if there's a quite niche tone that you can't quite get, that Animals as Leaders vibe, that potentially the Amplify isn't going to be able to pick up because there's lots of effects or there's lots of processing, other people will have their own attempt at trying to make something cool. So they'll also be able to upload a very good tone. Let's have a look at a couple more tones before we round off. overall very expansive. And also another note I hadn't really touched, there's been many different generations of Line 6 products. You even have current bands still using gear as old as like the XT series from 2002, 2003. And that really goes to show that some people are very dedicated to some of the models and some of the software that Line 6 have come out with over the years. You still have people using some of the original editions of Pod Farm 2, which is still very expansive, and they're still using these amp models. This A30 D-Class has a model which dates back in many Line 6 series. You can have a look in their legacy line of products now. They've been bringing forward some of the amp models that you have here, exactly the same, just ported from old softwares, and of course many new things and many new presets as well. So for those people who are very interested in the more traditionalist Line 6 products like myself, there's still plenty here to keep me entertained. But thanks so much for checking out this review. There's obviously so many different features and many different things about this amplifier that will really lend itself to somebody who wants to make use of these features, who's whether you're a gigging musician or a practicing musician. So many different things going on here. If you want to read a little bit more about this amplifier product, you can click on the link above and below and go to the product page. Or if you want to see more guitar demos, more amplifier demos, effect pedal demos, and lots of other cool fun things, you come to the right place. So please, you can like this video, drop us a comment, let us know how we're doing, and of course you can subscribe to us for some more future videos. Thank you very much.